So I start with onion. I usually just start with like a regular yellow onion. But today I had a shallot, so I threw a shallot in there too. So I grill that up, and then I chop the tomato and I throw it in there. Next. I'm gonna chop all of these bad boys. I already have one out. Alright, so once you chop the tomatoes and you throw them all in, I add onion powder. Good amount. Good amount of onion powder. Boop, onion powder. Bay leaves. Bay leaves. I'm doing it with one hand. Usually I would control this a bit, but I don't mind bay, so boom. And I add a little bit of cayenne to make it spicy. And then I add, of course, the natural sea salt. Not too much. You don't want it to be too salty. And then from there, just go stir. 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 Just mixing the onion and the seasonings. Make sure it's all nice. Kind of hard to stir and shoot, but you guys get the picture. You stir, and then once you stir, give it a nice stir. You cover with a lid and you let it all break down. So 10 minutes later, oh, it's getting hot already. And 10 minutes later, you check on it. Oh, look at that. That's already percolating in there. You give it a spin. See how it's already like starting to break down. Breaking down. Oh, it smells good already. Give it a nice spin. Spin. Boop. And do it again. Cover it up. Okay, again. It's only been like 20 minutes. I did it 10 minutes and then 10 minutes again. And then at this point is where you start to stir. Lower the heat. Way too hot right now. And you just start to stir the sauce. Stir the sauce. Let it all break down. Now at this point too, if you're in a rush, you can blend some of this. You know, which I may do today because I am kind of in a rush. Lower the heat and keep stirring. Stirring. You gotta keep stirring it. And then that makes it all break down. But like I said, if you're in a rush, you blend it. I like mine chunky, so I'm not gonna blend all of it. If I do blend it, I always blend maybe like half or like 3/4 of it, and then I leave the rest chunky. But you keep stirring, and it just breaks down. See, so the heat's coming down already. It's cooling off, and you keep stirring it. Alright, I'll keep you guys posted. So I ended up taking about, it's still kind of thick, you see, but I blended about half, maybe like 3/4 of it. I just go in and whatever big chunks come out, I blend a lot of them. But you see, there's still some big chunks in there. I like it like that. I like it chunky. And then at this point, you keep stirring. Right, and then at this point now you let the, because you know it's kind of wet still, kind of little, I like it a little chunkier, so you leave the lid off, low flame, and you kind of let it do its thing, and you make sure you stir it every as often as you can. I'm gonna let it rock for like another 10-20 minutes, and then from there, that's when I add the basil. Oh, actually, hold on, I'm bugging because I forgot to add the dry basil. This is the dry basil. I add dry basil, and then I finish it off with fresh basil. I like basil, so. And I also add a little bit of the thyme, but not too much, but I do add a little bit of that. Boom. Mix that right in. And then from there, let that rock for like another 10-20 minutes. And then I'll add the fresh basil. And I'll let that rock for like another 10 minutes. So whenever it starts to bubble like that, you should just give it a spin. That means that the bottom is just getting too hot. It's simmering right now, so it shouldn't be too hot. Every time it bubbles, you give it a spin and it'll stop bubbling. And I just gave it a taste and realized that I didn't put any black pepper, right? So I'm gonna put some of that. Kind of like black pepper. So I'll put some black pepper in it. It needs to be a little hotter, so I'm gonna put more cayenne. I like it spicy. And it needs a little more salt. Alright. Let's mix that in. And you see how it's not as watery anymore, it's really nice and thick. Because I left the lid off, you leave the lid off, and it starts to thicken up because the water evaporates. So the liquidy part evaporates. So another 10 minutes, and we add the fresh basil. Okay, so it's basil time. It's basil time. And I like basil, so we don't get stingy with the basil. I usually buy a whole. I throw if I buy a whole bunch, I throw the whole bunch in there. Just chop. I like to chop it though. That way, when you're put it on things, it's not like you don't have a whole huge piece of basil. So I like to chop it up and then mix it in. Boom. Alright, so now you let this cook in there for like another 10 minutes. And it'll be ready to get put in a jar. And then this sauce I use on everything I make. If I use it for pizza, I use it on my pasta. Even when I make quinoa, I'll add a few spoonfuls of this sauce just to give it flavor. It's an amazing sauce. 10 more minutes and it's done. And so there you have the final product, which is a spicy plum tomato sauce with basil. I make it once a week. I use it for pizza, for my spelt pasta, or chickpea pasta. You know, I throw it in my quinoa. I use it in all types of stuff. Even when I make my garbanzos, I'll throw some of this in there too. But it's really good stuff. And people are telling me I should sell it, but you know, I don't know. I'm giving you guys the recipe, all the ingredients, all are alkaline. I mean, if you don't have time to make it, and you pay me to make you some, I'll make you some. That's what would be the right price though for like a 16-ounce jar? I wouldn't even know. Alright, anyways, this is it.